Hi guys, welcome to the last part of the Weekend Dev Challenge 24. So in this previous part, we had built a basic HTML structure for this bubble sort visualizer. So in this, we'll be giving the logic for the program, and then I'll be showing how the visualization actually works. Let's get started. So first, we have to fetch all the necessary elements from the HTML. So the first is the bars container, elements with the ID bars container, generate, sort, size, and element. So we are taking all these elements from we're having these ID from the HTML program and storing it in our own constants. We have different constants for different things. Now, after that, we are creating an empty array. But we have a function generate array. So here we have that empty array, and then we ask the user for the size. So whatever the user enters for the size, that will be taken as the size for that particular array. And then we ask for, if you remember, first we took the size and then we took the elements comma separated. Now, here we have to, the reason why we said comma separated was it becomes easier for us to take the individual elements. So you can see it goes until the size, and then it checks if there is any comma. So it splits between commas and then it converts that into integer, into number. So initially it is in an array, it converts that into individual numbers and it stores. So the size of this particular thing is basically equal to the array length. Simple. So if I enter 5, 4, 3, it becomes 5, comma is removed, 4, comma is removed, 3. So we have three elements saying 5, 4, and 3. This is simple. This is how it works. Now, here we have to create the bars. So how do we create the bars? The logic behind that bar is basically we take the value of that element, we multiply by 3. Basically, we multiply by 3 and then we add that is the size of the bar. So if the value is 1, then the size of the bar is 3 pixel. If the value is 5, the size of the bar is 15 pixels. So into 3, that is in the number of pixels. Now, after that, we have to add the label as well. So the number, how do we know if it is 5 or 6 or 7? So we have to add that as well. So that is basically being done in this particular part of the program. Here we have to take the bar label and then we have to add that. Now, after that, the main part is this. We have to put that label inside the bar using append child and that bar inside the container. Simple. You have a container, you have a bar, and in the label inside the bar. So it is basically, if we go in the reverse order, the label comes first, bar, and then in the entire container. Simple. Now, this is the visualization part which says bubble sort animation. So here we have to see the animation of to how the animation works. So here first we have a function called bubble sort. So you have to select all these elements with ID bar, which you had seen here. Now, here we have the main logic behind bubble sort. I'm sure most of you know how it works. Here we have one exterior loop and one interior loop. So from this exterior loop, each individual loop, it compares two elements, each individual elements, and then once this is done, it moves to the next in the exterior loop, and so on it goes. Now, when we are comparing two elements, that bar of those elements become yellow. Okay, and then we might have to sort. We might have to swap as well. So because if 2 is greater than 5, if 5 is greater than 2 and if 5 lies before 2, then we have to swap between 2 and 5. So this logic is for swapping. If the initial element is greater than the next element, then we have to swap both of them. Simple. If 5 is greater than 2, then 2 should come before 5. That is how we solve the ascending order. After that, we have to update the height as well. So because we have to update the height of this 2's to be 5 and 5 to be 2's height. So that is being done in this part. Again, the height, how do we update, is basically multiply by 3 in pixels. After that, we have to add the label as well. So we have to swap the label. When we are swapping this, we have to swap the label as well of the individual thing. Now, after that, we have a timeout of 1 second. We have to wait for 1 second and then start the next one. And this is some styling part for each of those bars. And then we have two buttons, generate array and bubble sort. So let me run the program and show. I'm sure you guys have understood the program. So I'll show a simple program which has 3 elements, 1, 4, and 3. All right, 3 elements. So let's just do one thing. We'll take 3, 1, 4. Now, how should it work? It compares 3 and 1. It swaps 1 and 3. It compares 3 and 4. Done. Simple. Generate bars. You can see this is the bar. 3, 1, and 4. Let me zoom in a bit. So 3, 1, and 4. Now, when I click on start sorting, you can see how visualization works. Simple. Compares 3 and 4. Again compares 1 and 3. Done. Sorted. Now, let me give 5. and after 3, 1, 4, 2, and then 7. You can see these are the bars. Now if I click on first, what happens? It compares 3 and 1, swaps, compares 3 and 4, done, compares 4 and 2, swaps, compare 4 and 7, done. Now it starts with 1. So that's how it works. 3 and 4, nothing. 4 and 2, swap. 4 and 7, nothing. Now starts with 1 and 3, swap, nothing, nothing. One more iteration, done. Sorted. So I'll submit the program. I hope you guys have understood this program. If you have any doubts, let me in the comments below. I'll make sure I'll answer them all. So test cases have passed, and that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video. That's it for this weekend as well as in the next weekend. So if you want to practice more such problems or get yourself ready for interviews, and go pro on CodeChef. You can practice all these problems on the CodeChef platform. So head to the CodeChef platform right now and give this a try. And that's it for this weekend and this video as well, guys. I'll see you in the next weekend. Thank you.